Brian Takahashi, thank you so much for coming on my show. It's such a privilege to have you here. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm going very good. How's everything over there across the pond?
Cold as always. It's England. So as we always say, the only thing in England warm is the ice. That's the saying, isn't it? So if I say konnichiwa, thank you very much to use. Thank you. Watashi wa Addi desu. Hajimashite. Genki desu ka?
Oh, yeah. Genki desu. Hajimashite. Takashi Yuji.
Arigato. So, I know we have people think I was going to say, I've been following your work for some time now. When I saw your work for a while, the first time was actually it was in Cobra Kai. I actually had one of your friends here as well on my podcast a while ago. Oh. There's this picture right there, Sensei Ford.
Oh, yeah, William. Yeah.
Yeah, such a lovely guy, such a nice person, very kind, very generous, and it was just wonderful to speak to him, and to have you here as well, actor, stuntman, martial artist, all in one. It's a privilege to have you here for me. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you. So normally what I like to do with all my guests is, first off, I like to do 3 important things. Number one, it's part of my faith, part of my culture. When somebody takes the time out for you, you have to make prayer for them. So I'd like to do that for you right away. So first off, I'd like to say, I pray that everything goes good for you. Everything that you're wanting to do in life, you become very successful with it. And that goes for your loved ones, and you keep on striving to become great. And anything that you are looking forward to, you achieve it and much more as well. And you become very successful in the field you're in. Amen. I'd like to do that for you.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Number 2, I'd like to say congratulations on all your accomplishments. Actor, stuntman, martial artist, jumping into one of the most legendary roles ever. I'm sure it was nerve-wracking, but we'll get into that as well. But congratulations on everything, and I hope you keep striving more and you become, again, even more successful in that as well, sincerely.
Yes. Here too, me too.
As long as you keep smashing out the work, I'll keep following it. You don't worry about that. You have a fan here for life.
Thank you.
And number 3, most important question I have to ask you, because my show is called Chat Over Coffee. In case we have the opportunity of meeting, how do you like your coffee?
Yeah, honestly, I don't drink a lot of coffee, but like I've been getting into my coffee, so it looks like my background went away, but it's fine. I guess just like I kind of like just like the really plain coffee, I'm lactose, so some sort of like oats or soy, and then just a bit of sugar. That's it. Nothing too fancy.
Yeah. Good choice. As long as you have to look at health comes first. As a great saying that's been told, that health is your greatest wealth. So keep on striving there, Brian.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, if you're ever in the UK, I'm glad you told me that, because I say to everybody, if you're ever in the UK, the coffee's on me. You can either come to the studio, I'll make you one right here as well. There's coffee from all over the world here, from Slovakia. Awesome. Yeah. Well, anytime anyone goes anywhere, they ask me, do you want anything? Look who I'm asking what to get Addi from there. So it's always coffee. It's coffee from Spain, France, Italy, Slovakia, Portugal. It's all there ready. Colombia. It's all there sorted.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. So, Brian, jumping into our interview right now. Again, I really appreciate you taking the time out for you. This really means a lot to me. So, jumping into the interview, what is your martial arts background, and where was the inspiration from?
My martial arts background is a mix of Shorinji Kempo and Shotokan. And really, it's something that my dad taught me. He took it he's from Japan. He took it in college and in high school. So unofficially, I was taught by him. I never really went to like a school. Was just really at home. Funny story. I just realized after taking a Shorinji Kempo class from the beginning as a newbie, because I haven't done it for a while.
Yeah.
I realized that my dad didn't teach me any of the basics. He just kind of went from, this is how you punch and kick, to like the most advanced stuff. So all the stuff they're doing, I'm like, man, I don't know what they're doing at all until I was watching the black belts, and I'm like, oh, what's that? I know how to do that. And they're like, how do you know how to do that? I was like, well, that's what I learned how to do. So again, it was all for my dad, inspiration wise. It was again through my dad. It was something that we did together. Of course, as I got older and he got older, we didn't do it as much, and I just started to branch off and do my own, like Shotokan and other sort of martial arts as well. But yeah, it's a part of me that I'm glad that I was able to really tap into. Not only being Asian but Japanese. They're in the industry. It pops up so much where you're like, can you do any sort of martial arts? And I could be like, yeah, that's actually how I got into stunts. It was just more like, oh, you can fight. Can you take a hit? It's like, sure. Most of the stunt work I was doing is basically just falling down and dying or getting beat up and things like that. It's like your bread and butter. So yeah, you just kind of get up, throw a couple punches, get beat up, and you fall down. That's what a stunt person's job really is. So yeah, that's really my background in martial arts, and it's more poignant now that because my father passed away. It's something that I can keep on, and as a legacy. So.
That's really good. First off, I'm sorry for the loss of your father.
Thank you.
I like to again, because even though I didn't know him, I still like to make prayer for him, if that's okay with you.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Okay, so I pray that he rest in peace. He's given a big place, granted the biggest place in heaven, and that the whole family, his children, are given the strength to get through their difficult times, and that you may all be reunited together one day as well. Amen. Let's do that.
Thank you.
So I understand, because I lost my father when I was quite young as well. And my father was, God rest his soul, he was a huge fan of martial arts. He loved Bruce Lee. He loved Van Damme. He loved all the Karate Kid movies. But I can remember we were watching Karate Kid Part 3, and he was actually rooting for Mike Barnes so much. He goes, I like the way he fights. Of course, he's going to have to lose because Daniel's the hero and everything, and which we're going to get. So that was actually one of the reasons why my dad saw it, and he saw Van Damme, and because he saw me getting bullied a lot in school, and I said, I got to do something about this. But I unfortunately didn't learn martial arts as I got older. I got into some of the stuff he did as well. I got into Shotokan. I started off doing boxing because I loved Rocky so much, and Muhammad Ali was my favorite fighter of all time. And so without him, without a shadow of a doubt, there'd be no boxing on the planet today. Without him, no chance. And I got into Shotokan, did some kickboxing, I did some Aikido, some capoeira. So it was quite a lot of stuff I did over the years, all because of starting off with boxing, just working the hands nonstop. But it was fun. It was definitely fun. Yeah, we should have trained together one day, if that's okay with you, if I'm ever out in the US. Deal?
Of course.
You can teach me some Miyagi legacy. God bless you. So what is your current fitness routine? Because you look in phenomenal shape, Brian.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, not much. I wish I can tell you more. It's just been a very busy year, so unfortunately, a lot of the workouts and routines of anything have been kind of flown out the window. So, but I do try to keep something going. I go for hikes. I will do some drills from here to there. I've been using a kettlebell. So that's something that's, 15 minutes, just kind of a high intensity workout. Just you do that just to kind of stay healthy. But plan to, get back into it much more probably next year. Just this year's just been too hectic and stuff like that. So just being honest with myself, it's just like, I'm just going to take care of what needs to be taken care of this year. And then that's what I'm going to be focusing on. But in the past, I was doing bunches of stuff. I did martial arts stunt stuff. I did parkour, all sorts of different things. And probably not the parkour I probably would want to try to get back into most of that once I get back into like a more steady routine for sure. So,
Well, I hope it all goes well for me. You're looking, like I say, you're looking phenomenal shape.
oh, thank you.
I'm guessing you're about late 20s, early 30s. I'm guessing. I'm just guessing here.
And then, no, I'm in my early 40s. So
No chance.
yeah.
You look fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You know, after the camera's done, let me see some ID. No, I'm joking. Honestly, you look phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
I honestly thought you were about at least early 30s. Honestly.
Oh, thank you. I mean, again, it's probably the Asian genes, so.
It was like, say, early 40s. So we're about the same age. Bless us.
Yeah.
Definitely. So when did the idea come from to become a stuntman?
That's literally just kind of no pun intended, but just sort of fell into it. It was just you know, parlayed the martial arts into stunts, and I got lucky that I met a couple people who were pretty big in the stunt world early on, and they just kind of put me in the right direction. And then just from there, just started just doing, hey, you need a guy to get beat up. Again, you need a guy to fall, all that kind of stuff like that. So that's that's majority of the stunt person's work is getting hurt, doing stuff that you don't want your main cast to do. So again, big shout out to the stunt community, because I think a lot of times people, not I think, but for sure, people overlook the stunts. It's a major part of any storytelling. From full on fight sequences to just even a pratfall. But you're paying a professional to do that, and they should at the very least get recognized for it, because they're putting their body on the line, multiple times. And unfortunately, you have to age out. There's some people who are older who are still doing it, and they're in phenomenal shape. But, the recovery time takes longer and longer. So that's, again, my story was just, I got lucky with the stunts. I just, they needed people who can effectively take direction and be like, hey, this is a fight, and then I need you to take a dive here. I need you to get hit here. I need you to get hit by a car here and stuff like that. So, and it's not really something I went into in full term. I stayed as an actor, but it did help that I had that in my back pocket. I was able to parlay that into stunt coordinating and, making sure things are safe on set, and then stunt coordinators too. Not only are they doing the fight choreo, but they're making sure that everything's safe, and I think that was like the most important thing that I learned from my seniors is that, yeah, all that stuff is fun, but if someone, goes down, that's it, show's over. So make sure that everything's safe beforehand. Things that most people wouldn't think, you're looking at a coffee table that's maybe not even part of the scene and being like, that's a sharp point right there. And maybe it's a little excessive, but it's like, well, if for some reason the stunt guy goes, or the actor goes tumbling over here and then cracks his head on that edge, then that's it, right? So it's really just being able to be aware of all that going in, and it helps the stunt person too, because you can walk onto a set, and especially if they're maybe not be like the most professional, and you could clock it right away and be like, oh, this is not going to work. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. I've been on sets multiple times as an actor, and they want you to do something. I'm like, no, that doesn't seem safe. Let's talk around it. And again, it's not always like a no, I'm not going to do it. It's just like, oh, let's think of a different way. Like if you want to do this, this is a safer way. And then, I can be like, hey, I'm not just the actor. I also do stunts and stunt coordinating. So, this, from my experience, this is a safer way to do it. Plus you could reset it over and over again. You don't have to just use, this is just a one take. You can only do it one time. So yeah, coming back to the question, my inspiration basically was just, you're Asian, can you do this? Sure, I can do it. I'm more marketable, but it led into a more, I guess, robust career in the long run. So I mean, that's parlaying that into this Miyagi role. If I didn't do that, I probably wouldn't have gotten the role, you know. So yeah,
Yeah. That's cool. We're glad you're here. And we're glad you're pumping out all the work. Because I know you worked on the movie Crank with Jason Statham as well.
yes,
And
yes.
yeah, well, ironic thing was, about a few months ago, I had Brian Vigier on there, who worked with Jason Statham in
Oh,
the latest movie Shelter.
mhm,
Brian, such a lovely guy, such a nice guy to interview, and he said the same thing because he went through stunts, and then they casted him in that as the main bad guy who Jason
mhm.
Statham goes up against. And but yeah, it's kind of like a nice little connection going off here, so which I'm grateful for. God bless. And so when you got into the movie business like that, so becoming an actor, was this something you always wanted to do, or was it just something again that happened coincidentally?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was something as an actor. I remember specifically being asked, what you want to do.
Yeah,
And and all the usual things. And again, this is when I was pretty young. Usual things that kids would say. I want to be a fireman or astronaut. None of that really rang true to me. I remember my mom would say that I'm always a big ham, even when I was a little kid. Like I would walk around like a mall and just like make people laugh. So, and I'm saying this as like someone who was like younger in the '80s, and I saw Mel Gibson. And I know Mel Gibson, whatever how you think of him back in the '80s, he was a big thing.
oh,
And
I love Mel.
yeah,
I love Mel.
yeah, yeah,
He's one of the all time greats, and
yeah,
great actor, great director, great presence on screen,
yeah,
especially in the original Lethal Weapon movies. I mean,
yeah,
nobody
yeah,
but him could have played Riggs.
exactly,
Martin Riggs is just without a shadow of a doubt one of the greatest characters ever created. It's that perfect balance. You have the serious veteran, and then you have the young
exactly, yeah,
psychopathic
yeah.
cop.
So
But yeah,
and Mel Gibson back in the day, he liked comedy. He that was like one of his
yeah,
things. So I remember seeing an interview with him, and he basically said, "Yeah, I get paid to do what I love is to make people laugh." So I was like, that sounds good. I kind of want to do that.
yeah,
So that's how it went into acting. That was literally, I want to say like a sophomore, freshman in high school. And I was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And of course, you saying that at that age, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. You
yeah.
go do that as long as you don't get in trouble. But, that's that I stuck with it, and I was like, yeah. And I think it got to the point for my parents, it's like, well, if you're going to do this, then, make sure you do it right. So, went to college, got a BA in theater arts, kind of, did all that. And even though that doesn't really help in terms of like the, TV and film acting side,
Yeah.
it does help in other aspects. So, and I'm glad that I was trained through theater to act,
Yeah.
because acting for TV and film is basically, and again, this is just my philosophy, but like if you're a theater performer, TV and film is a bit easier than going the opposite route, because like TV and film, you just take everything you're doing in theater and just sort of like, you know, compressing it. It's really hard to kind of pull that out. And of course, being a theater actor helps with doing mocap and
Oh yeah.
performance capture, which again goes into the stunts, but because you're basically performing in a room with nothing, and it's basically like a black box theater where you have to use your imagination. So, yeah,
Yeah. And that's impressive. That is. I mean, I remember when it's kind of similar to a little bit of my own story, where when I left school, my initial thing was to become a police officer, and I was always inspired by shows such as Miami Vice, Hill Street Blues. We had a show on in England called the Bill, and it was quite a very popular show here in the UK. Whereas what happened then, halfway through the course, I was like, I'm going to save myself the trouble. I'm going to look ridiculous patrolling the streets. Guys in the streets don't have this type of physique. no, I'm going to get bullied the most, so I'm going to walk away from it. And then then I decided to study acting. And when I read about Stallone's background story, about how he was rejected nonstop, but he wrote the story of Rocky, I studied drama for about a few years, and then I decided to when I was doing my final performance, I was paying close attention, not to my own performance for some reason. I was paying close attention to all the backgrounds, what was going off, like the producers, the writers, the set designers, everything like that. And then I decided, I got to learn behind the scenes work. So I studied media production for 2 years, learned how to write, produce, direct. And I feel like if I didn't do that, I don't think I'd be here today talking to a great individual like yourself as well. And again, I'm not blowing smoke. I'm being sincerely grateful to you. I'm grateful to everybody who's been on my show, the places I go to visit, because I feel like I took the first step in the right direction that was suitable for me. And that's the whole point of growing up, isn't it? Where as you get older, you know what you need to do and what is not beneficial to you.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Very true.
Arigato. Thank you.